change it.
Alright, bottles on me, long as someone drink it. Never drop the ball, fuck it, y'all thinking. Making sure to...
What's up, guys? Right now it's like like 4 a.m. I'm gonna quickly do a reaction on the coronavirus finally being explained to all of us, like what we should do, all this and that, where it came from and all that. Let's get straight into the video. After this, I'm gonna go straight to sleep.
In December 2019, the Chinese authorities notified the world that a virus was spreading
China,
through
why
their
you gotta do
communities.
this to us?
In the following months, it spread to other countries, with cases doubling within days.
Man,
This virus is the severe acute respiratory syndrome-related coronavirus 2 that causes the disease called COVID-19 and that everyone simply calls coronavirus. What actually happens when it infects a human, and what should we all do?
obviously, isolate yourself and die in peace, my guys. Stop trying to kill us all.
A virus is really just a hull around genetic material and a few proteins, arguably not even a living thing.
Facts.
It can only make more of itself by entering a living cell. Corona may spread via surfaces, but it's still uncertain how long it can survive on them. Its main way of spreading seems to be droplet
Yo, if you
infection.
cough in front of me, bro,
Cough,
it's over.
Or if you touch someone who's ill and then
We're
your
scrapping.
face, say rubbing your eyes or nose.
I just
The
rubbed my
virus
nose a
starts
few
its journey here and
minutes
then
ago.
hitches a ride as a stowaway deeper into the
Great.
body. Its destinations are the intestines, the spleen or the lungs, where it can have the most dramatic effect. Even just a few coronaviruses can cause quite a dramatic situation. The lungs are lined with billions of epithelial cells.
Facts.
These are the border cells of your
I'm loving
body,
these straight
lining your
facts, though,
organs
like,
and
damn.
mucosa, waiting to be infected. Corona connects to a specific receptor on its victim's membranes to inject its genetic material. The cell, ignorant of what's happening, executes the new instructions, which are pretty simple: copy and reassemble. It fills up with more and more
it is
copies of
what
the
it
original
is.
virus until it reaches a critical point and receives one final order: self-destruct. The cell sort of melts away, releasing new corona particles, ready to attack more cells.
Damn.
The number of infected cells grows exponentially. After about 10 days, millions of body cells are infected and billions of viruses swarm the lungs.
Okay, so that's how we die?
The virus has not caused too much damage yet, but corona is now going to release a real
Are you
beast on
serious?
you, your own immune
Our
system.
immune system is what's
The
killing
immune
us?
system, while there to protect you, can actually be
So
pretty
the corona
dangerous
doesn't
to
actually
yourself
kill us,
and
we
needs
kill
tight
ourselves.
regulation. And
To
as
corona,
immune cells pour into the lungs to fight the
I don't
virus,
think you have that
corona
facility
infects some
for
of
that
them
big man.
and creates confusion. Cells have neither ears nor eyes.
Ah, man, I
They
love that.
communicate mostly via tiny information proteins called cytokines. Nearly every important immune reaction is controlled by them.
Nah,
Corona
I don't
causes
think you have that
infected immune
facility
cells
for
to
that big man.
overreact and yell bloody murder. In a sense,
Oh,
it
man,
puts
nah,
the
fuck
immune
it, nah,
system
fuck it,
into a
nah.
fighting frenzy and sends way more soldiers than it should, wasting its resources and causing damage. Two kinds of cells in particular wreak havoc. First, neutrophils, which are great at killing stuff, including ourselves. As they arrive in their thousands, they start pumping out enzymes that destroy as many friends as enemies. The other important type of cells that go into a frenzy are killer T cells, which usually order infected cells to commit controlled suicide.
Right, let's just drink
Confused as they are,
antibiotics,
they
man.
start
Let's just
ordering
drink
healthy
those.
cells to kill themselves too. The more and more immune cells arrive, the more damage they do, and the more healthy lung tissue
So you're
they
telling
kill.
me
This might get so bad
we
that
actually
it
are
can
killing
cause permanent,
ourselves?
irreversible damage
Our
that leads to
body,
lifelong
like,
disabilities.
our
In most
protective
cases, the immune
body is
system
killing
slowly
ourselves.
regains control. It kills the infected cells, intercepts the viruses trying to infect new ones, and cleans up the battlefield. Recovery begins.
Man, this feels like cap.
The majority of people infected by corona will get through it with relatively mild symptoms. But
Not
many
even gonna
cases
front.
become
I've been having
severe or even
some
critical.
wild coughs lately.
We don't know the percentage because not all cases have been identified, but it's safe to say that there is a lot more than with the flu. In more severe cases, millions of epithelial cells have died, and with them, the lung's protective lining is gone. That means that the alveoli, tiny air sacs via which breathing occurs, can be infected by bacteria that aren't usually a big problem. Patients get pneumonia, respiration becomes hard or even fails, and patients need ventilators to survive. The immune system has fought at full capacity for weeks and made millions of antiviral weapons. And as thousands of bacteria rapidly multiply, it is overwhelmed. They enter the blood and overrun the body.
Damn.
If this happens, death is very likely. The coronavirus is often compared to the flu, but actually it's much more dangerous. While the exact death rate is hard to pin down during an ongoing pandemic, we know for sure that it's much more contagious and spreads faster than the flu. There are two futures for a pandemic like corona: fast and slow. Which future we will see depends on how we all react to it in the early days of the outbreak.
Yeah, nah, we're dying.
A fast pandemic will be horrible.
We aren't
and
reacting
cost
very
many
well.
lives. A slow pandemic will not be remembered by the history books. The worst case scenario for a fast pandemic begins with a very rapid rate of infection because there are no countermeasures in place to slow it down. Why is this so bad? In a fast pandemic, many people get sick at the same time. If the numbers get too large, healthcare systems become unable to handle it. There aren't enough resources like
Why do I
medical
feel
staff or
hungry
equipment like
watching
ventilators
this
left
video?
to help everybody. People will die untreated. And as more healthcare workers get sick themselves, the capacity of healthcare systems falls even further. If this becomes the case, then horrible decisions will have to be made about who gets to live and who doesn't. The number of deaths rises significantly in such a
Yeah,
scenario.
that's messed up. Better pick
avoid
me
this,
to live.
The world, that means all of us, needs to do what it can to turn this into a slow pandemic. A pandemic is slowed down by the right responses, especially in the early phase, so that everyone
Bro,
who gets sick can
there
get
is no
treatment
early
and there's
phase.
no crunch point with overwhelmed hospitals. Since we don't have a vaccine
Zombies are
for
gonna
corona,
come.
we have to socially engineer our behavior to act like a
Us in
social
general,
vaccine. This simply means
We don't
two
have the
things:
facilities for that, big
not
man.
getting infected and not infecting others. Although it sounds trivial, the very best thing you can do is to wash your hands. Soap is actually a powerful tool. The coronavirus is
Bro, I'm actually
what is
hungry. Oh my
basically a layer
God.
of fat.
Why is this
Soap
video
breaks
making me
that
feel
fat
like
apart and leaves it
eating
unable
something?
to
I want a
infect you.
snack right now.
It also makes your hands slippery, and with the mechanical motions of washing, viruses are ripped away. To do it properly, wash your hands as if you've just cut up some jalapenos and want to put in your contacts next. The
Yo,
next thing
that's
is social
suicide.
distancing, which is not a nice experience, but a nice thing to do. This means no hugging, no handshakes. If you can stay at home to protect those who
Damn,
need to
so
be
we
out
can't
for
even
society
cuddle.
to function. From
Use
doctors
protection,
to
though.
cashiers or police officers. You depend on all of them. They all depend on you to not get sick. On a larger level, there are quarantines, which can mean different things, from travel restrictions or actual orders to stay at home. Quarantines are not great to
I
experience.
love how
and
Australia
certainly
doesn't
not
have any of
popular.
those.
But they buy us
We're gonna
and
survive
especially
this
the
one.
researchers working on medication and vaccination crucial time. So if you are put under quarantine, you should understand why and respect it.
Bro,
None of
I
this
love
is
it.
fun,
No
but
work,
looking
staying
at the big
home,
picture, it is
sitting
a
down.
really
I
small
get to do
price
so
pay.
many videos.
The question of how pandemics end depends on how they start. If they start fast with a steep slope, they end badly. If they start slow with a not so steep slope, they end okayish. And in this day and age, it really is in all of our hands. Literally.
We got the
and
whole
figuratively.
world in our
A huge
hands.
thanks to the experts who helped us on short notice with this video.
Okay, I'm gonna end it there, but that was very interesting. As we all know, Corona is very seriously. All jokes aside, please stay home if you do think this and that you've got it. Obviously, call someone. Meaning as in the doctors. Don't call your grandma to come see you. Obviously. And yeah, just follow this video. Just don't cough too much. Stay home. Don't touch your face. Wash your hands. Chill out, and just don't affect people. Cause like, we all gonna die. Like, it's early days, but if we don't take care of it, we all gonna die. Alright. To all my subscribers, if you liked what you see, comment down a few more comments about Corona, how you feel and all that. Remember to subscribe and ring that notification bell.